Hey y'all, this is us in the conference room. Can anyone hear us by chance? And Goldburn, I don't know if you have to have special permissions to talk or not. Maybe you can text me just so I know if you can hear me or not, or I'll text you here.
I know that when I called in, I had to get somebody from here to unmute me.
Sure.
Because otherwise I could listen but couldn't talk. And
we are able to hear you.
Oh, great. Who all is the we? Is that just the staff members at the county?
Tech services, Molly Turner King and Goldburn are the people in the meeting.
Great, thank you. So we didn't realize it looks like there's a mute button on this particular apparatus as well. So you should, I assume you didn't hear us do the call to attendance?
No.
Or anything at this point? Okay. In the room, we have Susan, Byron, Kathleen, and myself, and that's really as far as we've gotten. We were discussing, per recent emails with Molly and city staff, of why we don't have a formalized agenda right now because of the new interpretation that we need to have it printed and posted up. So that was one of our discussion comments. And then kind of our broader one is more broadly, we found out in having this discussion on the agendas, at least as it is understood by me in the emails, that there's a wider kind of, I don't know, legal direction or directive that the council need to be engaging only in legal matters and not administrative matters, which then raised a number of concerns we have as to exactly how we do business on a number of other ends. So kind of two parts, I can go ahead and turn it over to Molly. Is one, just want to make sure we have an introduction to Molly, their new counsel. My understanding, and you can correct me, is that you have some background both on the prosecution side as well as defense side. So we'll be bringing some cool legal experience to our commission. And then beyond that, I suppose just some clarification on when we have administrative needs, if you will not be the point of contact, if there will someone else be, and I guess if you could speak to that at all. So I'll turn it over to Molly.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm Molly Turner King. I just started at County Legal about roughly a month ago. I've been with the county since 2008. I originally started in the sheriff's department. Then I moved to the public defender's office, and then I moved to the prosecutor's office. And that pretty much encompasses my legal background. I'm happy to answer any questions, I guess, on that, if anyone has any. No?
I would just say it's a handy background because it hits a number of areas that we intersect with. So that's good to have that spectrum and that experience.
Yeah, I think it will be very helpful with complaints and, talking to witnesses and things like that.
And it does not look like we have any other questions, at least in the room I'm at here at the courthouse.
Okay. And then in speaking to the email exchange in regards to administrative tasks, I believe the commissioner's office, along with county legal, are working on some guidance to provide you. And so I know one of the things we are happy to do is to post meeting notices for you. But as far as creating agendas, that would be something that someone from the commission would do. We can post the agenda for you. Beyond that, I think they're working on guidance as to what falls as administrative and then what would be legal representation.
Sure. So I don't think the agenda thing will be a huge deal. I'm happy to put together some agenda items. Although maybe you can explain our non-agenda option. I didn't even know that was really an option for us to have. I suppose on the legal versus administrative, the confusion I have is it makes sense to me if you're doing legal items and don't want to provide administrative help to say a department head is one of the examples you gave me. But they're staff and none of us are staff members. So I hope in that guidance, it's fine if you aren't the one who can provide us any sort of administrative help, but hopefully there is someone on county staff that can be our point of contact for that administrative help. If it wouldn't be you on the non-legal issues.
Yeah, and I think that's what the guidance is going to provide you as
Sure.
a contact person on, you know, for these tasks, you should contact so-and-so, and for this, you should contact so-and-so.
Okay, thank you.
Can I interject?
Yep.
Because, I mean, we are, literally for over a decade now, I think we have had some kind of administrative staff support from the county. And Martha Self most recently has been the person who's been providing that support. So my question is, something similar to that is going to be in place, or is somebody rewriting the rules, or what's happening in that regard?
Yes, to add to that, I mean, it's Martha Selk who sends out the minutes for everyone to look at a week prior to the meeting, and also sends out the meeting notice and asks for responses so that we know that we're getting a quorum. So it's that kind of administrative.
And that was Susan. It was Byron and Susan, yeah.
Okay, thanks for the clarity on the speakers. I appreciate that. And I think that's what the guidance is going to say. I can't really speak to what it's going to be because I don't know yet. And having just started, I was just trying to get a clear guideline from my supervisor and the commissioners and everyone as to what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think that's what we're working on. But I think Martha still can post notice and for your meetings. I don't want to commit her to something that I don't have the authority to commit her to. So the people who are making those decisions are working on it.
Can you, and so that will just have to be something we have on hold for now, but can you talk to us a bit on the non-agendas? Is that something that commonly is happening with other commissions? And then I suppose my follow-up would be, this is Eric again, if would I still be able to send, let's say, a list of topics to my peers here on the commission and say, these are some things we're going to talk about, or would that then trigger the need for the formalized agenda, if that makes sense?
So under open door law, an agency is not required to have an agenda. However, if you do have an agenda, it is required to be posted at the location of the meeting prior to the meeting. It doesn't have the same time constraints as like a meeting notice that has to be posted within 48 hours. An agenda just has to be up for the meeting at some point. So if you don't want to do an agenda, you don't have to do an agenda. It's really what the commission wants to do. As far as what other commissions do, I can't really speak that much as to what they do because I just don't have enough experience of working with them currently. I think it's easy if you wanted to do an agenda. I know that a lot of people use the agenda then to compile their minutes. So you have your topics, you know, in your agenda, and you just use that working document to also compile minutes after the meeting.
Yeah, this is Susan again. I'm secretary. Yes, that is the way it's always happened. Just using the agenda and putting in what happened with each agenda item. But I do think that we need some kind of list of topics or agenda or something shared with the commission members before the meeting, so we know what we're going to be talking about, so we can get prepared to talk about it.
So I'm fine with that, and it sounds like I heard from Molly that send it to Martha, or should I send it to you, Molly, or both, that one of you would be willing to get that posted if I prepare that and send that to you in advance. Is that appropriate?
And I don't know who you're going to be sending it to, and hope I will have clarity for you before your next meeting. I don't know if it's going to be me, I don't know if it's going to be Martha, or if it's going to be someone from the commissioner's office.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and I guess update you on a few things, Molly, just so you're aware. I'm not sure if this is fruitful or not, depending on who will be working on these items. But do know that Kathy and Susan, in particular, I think you two have been working on a number of web updates that they'll probably need to individually talk with a county staff member at some point in making those requests for an update. Another item just to be aware of that has been mentioned in the past, we've had a vacancy for a while, and I know it's hard to acquire folks. One name that I had mentioned is Angelica Guevara, who is admittedly someone who works at the IU, and we don't want to totally have too many IU folks, but at the same time, it's better than no one, which is what we've had for quite some time. So those are two things I know that once we have that guidance in terms of who do we talk to on trying to move the ball, those are a couple of the items that we've had on our list for a while.
And I know that Martha had actually reached out to two people in regards to the vacancy. I think Mr. Goldburn was one of them. I don't know the name of the other person. And so I can check with her tomorrow because I think she did send information about the commission and how to apply if they were interested to a second person. So I can confirm who that second person she sent the information is to.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. And let me think what else I had here. What else, folks? Looks like Kathy has something here for you.
Well, this is Kathleen Tadelli, when Eric took the combined edits that Susan and I put together for how we wanted to convert the city's human rights statement on their website, which is very thorough and complete, and ours is not.
Yeah.
We had some questions on it that wouldn't be appropriate for a web person. There are actually questions about, for example, whether housing status or status as a veteran, and how that's worded legally. And so that's what I'm not sure. Is that a Molly, for Molly to review and okay? So we and Jeff never answered any of those questions.
Correct.
So, you know, we can certainly tell a web person, do this, do that, but some of these need clarification.
So we just might need to loop you in, I suppose. It might not be just you, Molly, but we might need you and one of these other folks, depending, I guess, on the issue, because there are some legal questions, I guess, that are intertwined with, for instance, the web updates to make sure they're accurate.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to look at the web updates in regards to the language.
Great, awesome. Since this is actually our first meeting that we've had hybrid, I suppose, partly in person and partly online, at least in a formal capacity. For our own knowledge, or at least my own knowledge, are you going to be able to join us at times in person, or do you know what that might look like in the future with your virtual or in-person type work? I'm not sure how your job is set up.
So I think it's just going to depend on the month. I can join virtually or I can come in person. It's just I just came out of another meeting about 5 minutes before, so I know I wasn't going to make it there. So it's just really going to depend on the day.
Gotcha. Thank you. Oh, all right. Well, I'm just going to open it up to see what other people have for us tonight. We don't have, I know, Byron, your complaint you were involved with is totally resolved and done now?
That's correct. Yes, it is.
I'm a little curious, Molly, if you're able to look into it for us. I was involved with a complaint a while ago with Margie Rice, and I had never seen any write-up. I know she was going to work on the write-up, but, and I'm hoping that it happened and was, I don't know, I'm not sure how she closed the cases or what exactly her cases looked like. All I know is we did the investigation. We ultimately concluded not to move forward, or there wasn't enough information to constitute, I don't know, any sort of action. But I'm not sure what sort of documentation went into that. But I would be curious, since I was the staff member assigned to work with her, to make sure that that somehow was formally closed.
Okay. What I will probably get from you is some identifying information from the complaint, and then I can and either try to find the documents or check with Margie.
Awesome. And should I just email that to you if I have an old email chain or something with Margie?
That works.
Cool. All right.
One question for you, Eric. Was this particular complaint partially investigated or did it not get completed as an investigation?
I believe all of the information seeking interviews, et cetera, that were going to happen happened. I just didn't see any sort of written, I assume on yours you got something written at the end
Well,
of it?
yes, we had a
Yeah.
finding.
Yeah.
We had a finding and a document that I signed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I needed to have. So I did not end up seeing that. So I will send that to you, Molly, just to make sure we did our end of things appropriately to get that closed out.
And for clarification, I think everybody may have already gotten an email from me, but the practice apparently is that if there is no probable cause finding, then it's just the investigating commissioner who signs off on the concluding statement. If there is a settlement of some sort, because there is a finding that there is cause for the complaint, then I think the statute requires that the commissioners themselves are informed about that settlement and that they sign off on it as well. I was not clear about that when this topic came up last time.
Great. And Goldburn, I want to give you an opportunity. My understanding is you might be in transit with transportation and things, but so don't feel obligated to try to turn on your phone if you need to. But make sure we give you the space of if there is anything you wanted to add on anything today.
So yes, I am driving and I have nothing to add.
All right, thank you. You can get back to driving, please. So I think we're just gonna have to see what happens with kind of what our staffing, et cetera, situation looks like moving forward, regroup and see what sort of priorities we want to have. One concern I have, Molly, that you've probably been made aware of, not about you, but just in general, we've been dealing with criminal justice reform issues for a long, long time, and frankly haven't seen much movement on that. And I know that's not just a Human Rights Commission issue, but, you know, we would love to see something happen with the work, both from our commission and beyond this commission, in terms of either maybe an update on work is happening we don't know, but maybe that's something we can talk to you about once you get more up to speed in knowing what is happening with criminal justice reform here at the county level.
Well, and when you say criminal justice reform, are you talking about the criminal justice reform commission or the study that was done? Like, I'm familiar with both. I just don't know which one you're referring to.
All of the above.
Yeah, so we've held a number of listening sessions. Our commission did. We were
involved in the study,
Yeah.
integrally relating and working with the county commissioners and with CJAM. That was also staffing and coordinating some of those public meetings. And then we were privy to the results of the study that came out it's been quite a few months ago now, maybe a year ago, I'm not sure how long. So county commissioners wanted our involvement. They, I think, may have actually initiated the effort to get us involved. But we also had exhibited an interest in those kinds of issues previously. We've had scheduled visits to the jail.
We had a jail survey at one point in time that we were wanting to implement, and I believe that was denied by the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
So there's been just a number of initiatives that I'll let anyone else in here who wants to chime in can.
Yeah, the survey one, this Kathy, went quite far and even was going to be funded by the commissioners and involved the Indiana University research, right? The arm, and and the sheriff ended up saying he didn't like it. He didn't think it was going to get the kind of information that he thought
that would be helpful.
that would be helpful. And so anyway, now we know that there's gonna be a change of sheriff, so that might be something to revisit. But a lot of work went into it. It came from a published successful survey in the Netherlands that they used in their, prison system. So there was a lot of research on how well that was done. There were a couple of commissioners who left this commission, a year ago, and they promulgated this and worked through. There's a lot of work involved, so.
Yes.
So, yeah, those are the two big issues, the report, and we know that there are ongoing meetings about that report that none of us have been able to attend.
They're on a Monday at noon, and I keep forgetting to log in and listen.
Sure. We also traditionally have marched in the 4th of July parade, Molly, and that has been done in concert with the Human Rights Commission at the city. I believe Margie was generally the one who, I don't know what sort of permissions or how that exactly happened, to tell you the truth, other than we were often asked to participate and we would. But any sort of finding out how that needs to happen, what we need to assist with, who at the county needs to assist with that, who needs to talk with Barbara. I just know that probably they're going to be looking for entries and things before too long.
It already was a topic at the city commission meeting on Monday.
Okay,
And the commissioners agreed that they would again be participating in the parade.
okay.
So I'm personally, well, actually, I'm not sure I'm going to be here. I was going to say I'm willing to, but I'm not positive I'm going to be in town. I'm not, are you all, what's your situation for that?
I will be here.
As far as I know.
Okay,
And Susan may not.
okay.
But I have all the decorations from last year at my house.
Sure.
So if I'm not going to be here, I can pass them on to somebody, and then we'll have to find a vehicle or something, and
Yeah.
you guys can probably borrow the truck again, because I'm not going to be home using it.
I know it was a reverse parade last time, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
pandemic,
yeah.
yeah.
It'll probably be a
Regular,
parade.
yeah.
A real parade, well, we might not want that truck then, it's,
So I guess the protocol question here is who contacts whom to get the two commissions
Yeah.
communicating? Does
Yes.
Eric contact the chair of the?
Well, I mean, in the past, it's been the staff
Yes.
attorneys who've made those, connections.
So I know the county is different in terms of its staffing, resources, et cetera. It doesn't have to be the same as the city, but Barbara McKinney is actually the human rights coordinator. So she does a lot of programming, I know, at the city side, and I don't know what to say about that other than any sort of help or at least guidance in terms of what we need to do. Molly, if it's not you, we would be very open to that, and that's maybe something we'll find out too after we get more information.
Yeah, and I can definitely, since it might be a time-sensitive issue, go ahead and call or get into contact with Barb McKinney to see what deadlines we're looking at least for the 4th of July parade, so that we don't miss anything.
yes.
Awesome, thank you very much.
And last year I think there was a budget for decorations, and I don't think I ever submitted anything, so there probably will not be, probably won't need a budget this year unless we want more posters.
I would actually be intrigued, do we have a budget, or do we just ask for money if we need it? So I don't know if we have a pot of money, Molly, that is like designated to us, but that would be good information if anyone at the county could provide us, knowing we have a budget, and I don't know if we do and what it is, if so.
Okay, I will check into it.
Great.
Yeah, because we used to authorize a few $100s for the Martin Luther King sponsorship, and our
Yes.
name would be in the program, so
And that did happen this year,
Yeah.
but we didn't,
I couldn't attend this year.
yeah, it was,
I think we contributed $75, and the city commission contributed $75, and we got a quarter page out of it
Something,
Yeah.
yeah.
with joint recognition of both
Right,
commissions.
right.
Yeah.
But I think we had I think one of my questions at that time was, do we have a budget, or do we just?
Jeff said it was fine to do, but yeah, he didn't tell us
He didn't tell.
exactly what.
How.
Yes, yes, exactly. Oh, All right, anyone else have anything for today? I know, don't want to keep us longer than we need to. I will say, Molly, one of my coworkers, spoke highly of you, Lynn Keller. So know that, I don't know, that exists, and although we are finding out exactly how we'll be working with you, we are glad we hopefully have a long-term legal counsel in this way, and I guess we'll see beyond that exactly how this works and with whom.
Yeah, I'm excited to be working with all of you. And we'll figure it out, I promise.
Very good.
All right, do we need to move to adjourn, I suppose?
Well, we need to pass the minutes.
Oh, minutes, sorry, we need to get the minutes passed. Who wants to?
I move that we pass the minutes from the March meeting.
I'll support.
All in favor of approval of our minutes?
Susan says aye.
Aye.
Byron.
Says aye.
Kathy says aye.
Eric says aye.
Goldburn? He's driving.
Goldburn says aye.
Thank you,
Okay, thank
Goldburn.
you, Goldburn.
All right, we got our minutes passed. Anything else I'm forgetting, Susan?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
There's no public comment because we don't have any.
No public, yeah, no one is here if anyone is curious, just us here in the courthouse.
Yeah, nobody's signed on, I don't think. You didn't get any students signed on.
No, no students or anyone else online, and unless the county tech folks, I think, told us it was just Goldburn, Molly, and themselves,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so.
All right, thanks, everyone. We will go ahead and adjourn. Appreciate those online who were able to call in. I know that's a new method too, and we look forward to connecting here in the near future. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.